Welcome to the 2018 season. Intro music today. We'll probably pop out with it too. No other song you can go to other than In My Feelings by Drake. Tell you what, I was inspired today by none other than Jesse, Stephen, Alan Edwards, Newton, Shaver. Was not going to bring you this podcast. I was on the way to cook my family Burger King for lunch. Lovely establishment. And I swung back by the school because I was so inspired by the 7 different kinds of smoke that he dropped on his weekly podcast, video podcast, for another league. I don't know the name of it. But then I went by school and got my laptop and said, look, I wasn't going to do a preview this week. I've been slacking. It's been a Rafa week. It's been a busy week with golf. And then I realized that I am the greatest commissioner of all time, humbly admitting that, and I'm going to bring it to you. So first of all, I would like to mention, and I just got an alert in my Chase account, that we have not received payment from the Tesler, Adler, and Whalen law firm. So actually, until further notice, we are brought to you by the Beasley and Gilkison LLP law firm. Benjamin Freeman, probably one of the best lawyers that I personally know. He can do anything for you. You know, if you've buried a body, let him know where it is, and he can, take care of that for you. If you drink and drive or do any of those things as well, Benjamin Freeman will take really good care of you. So again, that is the Beasley and Gilkison LLP, whatever that means, law firm. But anyway, guys, nothing super eventful so far this season other than Jerick McKinnon tore his ACL. So that kind of sucked for Jerick McKinnon. But Alfred Morris, $36 ad there. Patrick spent $12 on the Bears defense after they added, obviously, Khalil Mack. But we're going to dive right into the scoreboard here. We're going to go into a little preview. I don't know what all we'll get into here, whether we'll talk DFS or not. I honestly don't know that I'm going to play DFS. But anyway, again, this is inspired by Jesse, Stephen, Allen, Edwards, Newton, Shaver. Just did a really nice job. So although I would like, before I get into the week-by-week matchups here, Jesse, I would like a weekly and season-long G-Men, Devin Funchess against whatever the Moore kid's first name is. It might be DJ. So Mark is up against me this week. I believe I'm 1-5 so far in the first week of this league, historically. And Mark got 21.2 out of Jay Ajayi. I would assume that's the biggest score that Jay Ajayi will have this year. Had a couple tubbies and a 2-point conversion that is worth 3 because they're usually pretty pivotal there. Philly came away with a win. What a garbage football game that was. But I don't necessarily ever like to pick myself to win. Tell you what, I've never done this before. But again, Jesse inspired me, other than being very mean. Thought he really put together some nice work. So I'm going to break down my position today. I like Cam Newton a lot more than Alex Smith. I don't know why anyone would play Alex Smith on the road at Arizona. Mark, please don't listen because I hope you play Alex Smith. I think both of us have pretty solid running backs. That said, I do like my matchups more. I think with my team in general, Dalvin Cook is kind of going to be the one who, if he becomes a top 5 running back, like I think everybody thinks he can, if they give him that workload, I think my team can be pretty good. But that's pretty important for me. So I think I'm a little up just in the matchups. Mark probably had me by a little bit on wide receiver just because he's pretty predictable there. Doug Baldwin I like, but he's going to have a tough matchup against Denver's number 1 corner there. Like Evan Ingram, as everyone knows, but Jacksonville, again, kind of a tough spot there. I think this one's going to be interesting. I mean, Jay Ajayi got Mark a pretty big lead there. But I do favor my running backs a little bit. May even actually favor my receivers. There are just a lot of weapons in Minnesota. It'll be interesting to see what Kirk Cousins decides to do with the football, other than throw it to the other team. But there's just a lot of mouths to feed there. So I love Adam Thielen. I just don't. And he's not as talented as Stefon Diggs. He might be a better route runner, but it'll just be interesting to see where the ball goes there. There's just a lot of mouths to feed. Pimpin' Ain't Breezy team overrated Beard. Joey finally actually set a real roster. Joey's one of 3 teams I've been trying to make a trade with. Obviously for Antonio Brown, my boy. And Joey, welcome to the league. I like Deshaun Watson. possibly a shootout there. Prefer him over Drew Brees. I just don't see a ceiling for Drew Brees in this matchup against the Tampa Bay team without Jameis Winston and no running game. I mean, just guard Mike Evans is all the other team has to do for the first few weeks. Melvin Gordon, LaShawn McCoy, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Delaney Walker. As always, Trampus is built. He always builds his team off his running backs, and he's got a couple solid ones there. A couple, they could combine for 50 touches this week. So certainly, I favor his running backs by a whole lot this week. Trampus has what most people believe to be two top 12, wide receivers, and Trampus always had Delaney Walker as his boy. I think the chance that Joey has here to win this rests with T.Y. Hilton. Antonio Brown's going to do what he does. Big Ben's not good on the road, but Antonio Brown's good on any field or, frankly, on any surface, ice, a tennis court. Antonio Brown is, in my opinion, the best player in the NFL. But I think this comes down to what T.Y. Hilton can do, because I think Deshaun Watson has a crazy high ceiling. I think Antonio Brown's going to get you your 20 to 30 that he usually gets you, especially against divisional opponents. But I think if T.Y. Hilton can have a boom game here, I think Joey has a chance. To me, this is kind of a mismatch. Joey drafted, he has Mark Ingram on his bench. I think there are happier times ahead for James, the bearded one. By the way, set your actual own team name. I changed your name for you, and you haven't altered it yet. It's a battle of two great avatars. And Jason started the year with Alvin Kamara in the 15th or 14th round, as well as Zach Ertz. And Zach Ertz didn't do much. Julio for Michael did a lot. Somebody I'm kind of growing on here. First of all, for Michael, a couple good spots here for him. Andrew Luck against Cincinnati, a defense that's really bad. Andrew Luck at home. The thing for me with Andrew Luck, even when he was healthy, is the Colts there's just never been a good red zone team with Andrew Luck. Just kick way too many field goals. But I think it's going to be important. You have to, you pick up Eric Ebron. They just don't have red zone weapons. I don't know. It'll be interesting there to see. I mean, hopefully Andrew Luck is healthy and can get rid of the football. But really, you got to get the ball in the end zone in fantasy and in the actual NFL. Kerryon Johnson's going to get a whole bunch of carries, as the team came out and said the other day. Kind of like Isaiah Crowell, really underheralded running back there, who's been really good for a while, always on bad football teams. And then Tyreek Hill's a guy I've been gaining on, and Allen Robinson. I like what Michael has in his receivers for sure. And I think this is a good enough spot that I'm actually going to make this my. I don't even consider an upset. I think Michael pulls the win here against Jason, whose team is led by Kirk Cousins. It's hard not to like Alvin Kamara. I struggle to believe that he can touch the ball more than 15 times and not get hurt, and I just don't think they're going to do that. I think they know what they have in him. Joe Mixon in a great matchup for Jason. I love Amari Cooper this year. It'll just really come down to what Carr can give you as a quarterback. I'm not a believer. Golden Tate, probably the number 3 or number 4 option there behind Theo Riddick and the obvious 2 receivers who are on the outside. Golden Tate's going to get, a PPR league. I like him a lot. I just don't see any upside. He's a consistent top 24 receiver. And then James Conner. Jason did what you have to do. You have to handcuff. If there's an obvious handcuff, you handcuff. So, Jason, good job there. Your running backs are really good. And I think that if you do win this week, which I think would be an upset, if you do, and again, Julio already got you, 20, Michael. I just think this is a spot. I know Jason has a really good team, but I don't love it this week with that matchup against Michael. So that is my lock of the week as well. Mighty Midgets and Nathan Sucks D's Nuts. Not going to spend a lot of time on this, and frankly, that's just because neither of these young men will likely listen to this video podcast, so kind of wasting my time there. I will break down the teams a little bit. I think this is one of Adam Brandt's better teams. A lot of times he gets into the same habit of kind of drafting players that he pretty much has every year. He sees names and he drafts those players, which he still kind of did. I just like this team more for him than some of the ones he's had in the past, other than Matt Ryan. Man, he looked bad the other night. But I really like the way Adams built this fantasy football team. I think he's got a nice combination of floor with running back touches and ceiling with both of his receivers, as well as Travis Kelce, floor and ceiling there. And then Patrick is starting both Tennessee running backs. So at Miami, Patrick has a couple. I mean, he has 3 diva receivers: diva, drunk, purple drank. We just don't know the states of minds those guys are going to be in. What they're going to be doing. And frankly, this week I don't even have Odell Beckham in the top 15. Just personally, I mean, I'm in a half-point PPR league. I'm not playing him. I'm just not going to do it. I just think that matchup with Jalen Ramsey is one that he's. I don't just think he'll get shut down. I think he will maybe get ejected and suspended. I think he's going to get dominated at the line of scrimmage, and I think we will see an Odell Beckham fit this weekend. So just as a heads up, it's a crazy prediction. I just think that really could happen. This is the best matchup of the week, in my opinion. These are 2 of the better teams. I think Danny packs a whole lot of upside. A lot of people like Juju Smith-Schuster. Personally, I just can't really buy it. But if the hype is there. A lot of people like, but Danny's just built a really nice team here. DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans. Those are guys who are getting you so many targets. And then Royce Freeman, Jordan Howard. Not necessarily good teams, but they're going to get volume. So I like Danny's team a lot. I think that again he built it well. It's designed to win, but he's up against Mr. Luckbox this week, and as always, Adam, came in kind of Michael Thomas. He gets to keep him again this year. I believe in the 8th round. Kareem Hunt was a really good keeper for him, and then he drafted Hogan. He has Gronk. He has Tom Brady, so he's leaning on that New England stack, and they're a heck of a lot worse stacks to be on. I'm curious to see what happens with Jamal Williams in that Green Bay running game. Historically, Aaron Rodgers just doesn't like to share the football. I actually kind of I've been talking to Adam about a couple little trades, and I actually went back and I looked at every box score from the 2016 Green Bay season, and very, very rarely do they have running backs who carry the ball more than 10, 11, 12 times. So it'll just be interesting to see. Again, Aaron Rodgers likes to call his own number, whether that's with his feet or his arm in the red zone. Paid him a whole bunch of money. I think Aaron Rodgers is a fantasy guy you want because he's selfish, but I think he's also a selfish teammate. Just my own personal opinion. I mean, you guys know I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy. I just one Super Bowl win, and I don't know. He's just kind of. I'm just not an Aaron Rodgers guy. Simply simple victory. Kelce Johnston. Oh, sorry, Tyler. You do get to run the team. Probably building your deck right now in the rain against Shake and Bake. And both you guys will probably listen to this, so I will go ahead, and I have 2 minutes and 2 seconds left. As I'm getting ready to break this down, I am going to look for some exit music here on my phone. I have one ready. Marcus, you're going to appreciate it. I'm sure you will probably listen as well, as you're a dear friend and an elite fantasy mind. Let's just go position versus position. I like Matthew Stafford at home against the Jets a lot more than Large Benjamin at Cleveland. I actually think Cleveland might win that game straight, outright. So I like Matt Stafford. It's just it's a team that Detroit. I've owned Matt Stafford a lot, and they just don't run the ball into the end zone. They have LeGarrette Blount now, but they're just not a team that rushes for touchdowns. Still, until I see something differently, I'm going to love Matt Stafford. He just a lot of 5, 4, 3-yard touchdown passes to running backs. Slot guys, they had Anquan Bolden. They don't have him anymore, but he's got some nice weapons there, as well as kind of some deep threats. Love Jesse's running backs, obviously. He started the season without a first or second round pick, and he said, hey, come get it. I'm going to give you 60 some weeks with Zeke and Diddy. And, pretty massive advantage there for Jesse at the running back position. I do like Lamar Miller, and it's certainly Todd Gurr. I don't know who that other running back is, but I love Jesse at the quarterback and the running back spots. I think he's got a big advantage there at those 2 spots. But then I look at the rest of Jesse's team: Demaryius Thomas, Jarvis Landry. You can have it. Burkhead, who knows? I do think that the bottom half of Tyler's team, I like Tyler at flex. I think Marshawn's going to get the ball a lot. Exit music, and I'll break the rest of this down. Summer on You. It's by Pretty Much, and it's awesome. It's Summer on You. Got to make a pick here. Already made a lock of the week, but I just think the heart of a champion is going to come out from Jesse Shawver. a man that brought it on the podcast. Guys, good luck this week. Deuces.